You just live it, you know? All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We have an arena game. Nice. Okay, we have an arena game between two fun players to watch and also two very high-level players. So I'm going to start with Vinchester because Vinchester, he's my answer when people ask, who's your favorite player to watch? Vinchester just doesn't play as much as some of the others, but he's been extremely active recently because of some of the big tournaments we've had in this community. And Vinchester's been doing well. The reason I like Vinchester is because he tends to be quite aggressive, and I like aggression. Now, if you look at some of the best players in the world, like Viper's an obvious one, Doubt, all those guys, yes, they win games with killing units. That's what you have to do in this game. But I wouldn't say that they win games by being extremely aggressive. So what makes Vinchester fun to watch is he's extremely aggressive. What makes him lose sometimes is that he's too aggressive and he misjudges it. I do think that recently he's been playing a bit more standard, which is why he's having so much success in some of these events. But anyway, he's playing as the Persians. The map here is Arena. So for those watching on YouTube, I'm streaming this on Twitch, and I might be answering questions and talking to people who are here. Persians are a great civilization. However, on Arena, it could be awkward for them. I'll get to that in a second. Dracont is playing as the Mayans. The Mayans, definitely a civ that I would think is better on Arena if you play them correctly. And Dracont has been using his T90 hacks here, guys. Look at this. He has both golds in the back, 2 stones in the back. Only bad thing for him is that his third gold is right outside the walls. So what I like about Arena is that I have time to talk about what's upcoming. And I think a lot of my YouTube audience especially appreciates this, because if I just start an Arabia game, sure, for those here on Twitch, I was talking about what's going to happen for a minute or two before, but when the game loads up, we're immediately talking about all these things, and there's no natural transition into the action. And on Arena, we have plenty of time, so it makes it simple. And because I have the time, I just want to point out a few things. You know, to my regulars who have been around for 2 to 3 years, you're probably used to me saying this, but I think a lot of people are coming in every day now to the stream in the community, so they need to know. So on Arena, or most standard maps, you're going to have a main gold, which is 7 tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then you're going to have 2 additional golds, which are 4 tiles. So here's one of them. And then the other one's out here. So it's a good thing to look for when I'm panning around the map and maybe not talking about it. If you're playing the game, it's a good thing to think about, because if you see you're a 4-tile gold, then you know that your opponent's and you want to try and control that, right? You look at Vinchester, and he has his 7-tile gold here, so his main gold here. And this is his second, and then his third is... oh, it's right here, next to the walls. So I guess it's pretty similar in that sense. Oh, and Vinchester's using his scout to bring in his boar. You know, I remember Vinchester doing this a year ago in an arena tournament. And I didn't like it at the time. I didn't like it. Oh, and he's doing this. He'll make it work, but that's a very difficult thing to pull off. You weaken the boar with the TC, but the final shot has to be with the villager. If the final shot is not with the villager, then the food disappears. So please don't try and use your TC to kill a boar. And to try that, it takes a lot of practice, and you have to be very comfortable with your skills. T90 official, why did the fishermen bet on the Indians? Because they were a sure pick. That's really good. You know, I think it's better to read, because you can see what version of shore you're using, but that's pretty good, man. T90 official, the campaign of AoE 3 is really nice. If anything, it's worth buying that game for the campaign. Oh, good to know, man. Good to know. So I talked about the golds. There's always going to be 2 extra golds, and they're 3 tiles. So here's one, and here's the other. And players will have to scout for those. The extra stones, they're out there as well. But gold is one of the most important resources late game. So just always think players have 1 main gold, they have 2 4-tile golds, and then the extra golds, there's 2 of them, and it's 3 tiles. You're counting your way down. Riffy says, good evening, T90. How are you doing? I'm doing good, man. Vinchester's going to tower rush, guys. Vinchester, one of the ones who created the arena tower rush meta, he's going to try and tower rush here. And the reason that he initially created it, I think, was him and Stark. One of them started it, and then they both fine-tuned it. The reason that this became a thing is because these stone walls only have 900 HP when players are in Feudal Age. That addition was made because on Arabia before, in Feudal Age, people were stonewalling their whole map, and the stone walls had 1800 HP, and you could never get through. But since this meta, or this build order has been added, the towers now more costly. So at the time, towers, they were only, what was it? It was 125 stone and it was 25 wood. And now it's 50 wood per tower, which adds up. But I'll tell you what, guys, you know, Vinchester, he kind of forgot to go to stone. But if he performs this well, you guys are going to be impressed, because essentially what he does is, he's applying pressure to Dracont, and if they ever go into a tower war, Vinchester will send archers into the towers. Dracont, he won't have archers. Dracont will have to put his own villagers into the towers, which will be a lot of idle time. But Dracont really has the map to deal with this. He's already on stone anyway. As Mayans, you'd probably want a castle, an early Castle Age, so it's not like this is not part of the plan. And I haven't been seeing this build a lot recently. We'll see how it works out. It is Vinchester. The stone wall's almost down. Okay, he's just not going to stone at home, so he can build a second tower when he gets in. And keep in mind, Dracont does not have loom on his villagers. He also cannot build any defensive towers, as he's still in Dark Age, but that's just for a little while longer. And the palisade wall was pretty big for Dracont to buy himself some time to get these walls up. It's going to be tough for Vinch to do anything here, honestly. Dracont is... He's reacted nicely, and all he needs to do is build a tower here. I've been talking up Vinchester, but if you look at it, I mean, Dracont's going to be in Castle Age before you know it. He could build a castle, and Vinchester's gone for this YOLO rush. Very aggressive, and I don't know if he'll get in. I remember the last Masters of Arena event, Vinchester pretty much trushed every single game, and even took a game off Viper doing so. He did. Yeah, and the good thing about that was I had actually met up with some friends in the Age of Empires community, like a month prior, and Viper literally said, as literal grill subs, Viper literally said, you should never lose to a tower rush on Arena. Like, Viper said that, and I found it amazing because then he lost. But for the most part, he, of course, I think he won 4-1 that series, so. Vinch did a great job with it, but I think people learned how to deal with it. And obviously Dracont has. I don't see anything going too wrong for Dracont here. Saito, this is not a best of 7. These are just some rated games. Still hype. If anything, I think rated games can be more fun because there's more variety. Like, you're not going to see Vinchester go for this rush nowadays with Persians in a tournament. But he will in a regular rated game, and he'll have some fun with it. So this blacksmith is the target now for Vinch, I guess. You know, he's... Oh god, Vinchester, no! He lost an archer, he lost some Vill HP.
Already. Time really flew by. I am looking forward to the next 2 years, and much more. Congrats, Tristan T90 Woo.
Dracont is building this tower. Dracont's fine. It's not even T90 fine. He's fine. There's no flames around him. Well, I guess this tower's... You know what I meant, okay? He's fine. Trirem, thank you, man, for 2 years. You guys just don't realize how much it means to have Trirem around in the community. The biggest reason is that he's the only other person in the community named Tristan, and I like that. Beyond that, he's not all that helpful. Honestly, it's not like he helps with World of Kingdoms and helps moderate the stream and gives me good advice. He doesn't do any of that, but his name's Tristan as well, so respect. Just kidding. Just kidding. Dracont, he's in Castle Age now. And remember what I said, Vinchester, he's creating archers to send into the towers, so he doesn't have as many villagers idle. If anyone's going to still pull this off, it's going to be Vinch. He actually has a small score lead. Look how annoying he's being, and he's winning this tower war. Dracont's building a siege workshop. He doesn't have a great economy, right? He only has 2 farms working. He will build a castle, but Vinchester's really delaying Dracont's eco. But now a Scorpion's on the way, and I still feel like Dracont will be okay-ish. Because Vinch can't get in, but Vinch's economy will be stronger. I think he'll probably fall behind slightly in the Vil count, but... Oh! Okay, I was going to say, that Scorpion... that's going to be a problem. Can Vinchester kill the Scorpion? Are you kidding me? He has to kill the Repair Vil. Oh, he killed the Scorpion! This is going to be real annoying for Dracont. Oh my god, Vinchester got in. Oh my goodness. And the tower goes down here, and a villager died. Oh god, Vinchester's doing it. These archers have fletching. These Persian archers have fletching, and Dracont, he has to quick wall again. And he has to send most of his vills that were on wood into the TC, and he's trying to build this castle. Now, can Vinchester do anything more? I'm really surprised he was able to do that much. Ouch. Ouch. Yeah, maybe he'll find a weak vill around here. It would be just like Vinchester to be able to micro down another villager before these archers die. He's on his way to Castle Age. But yeah, that's probably going to be the end for him. Oh my god! I love Vinchester so much. Every other player would have just let that archer die. And think, there's no way. But he microed that bad boy. And, you know, now he's on his way up to the next stage, guys. And he has a 5 Vil advantage. Problem will be that Dracont's making plumed archers. He'll need an answer for that. Alright. Now, what Vinch has done, which is really smart, is he's built a stable here. So that can kill any enemy Scorpions. Excuse me. Also kill any enemy Mangonels, but I don't know about plumes. Henry Morrison, thank you for the sub, man. Thank you for the brand new sub. Literal Grill, thank you for the 100 bits. I saw your tweet, and I've seen your messages on Twitch. Apparently, it's not pronounced Magyar. It's something else, right? I've actually never heard anyone else in the community call it differently. So maybe we've all got it wrong. But I think I'll probably stick with Magyar. Mainly because it annoys you. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. King Cat Snake, thank you for the new sub. Deep North, thank you for 3. Timmy, thank you for the prime. Hey Rob, welcome. Good point from Strode in the chat. Persian Knights do have that archer bonus, so I'll show you guys here. Team bonus for Persians is Knights +2 attack versus archers. That helps. However, I've seen Vinchester do this quite a few times. And I think what he'll go for is just a little bit of military to hold map control. And then mainly an economy. So we'll probably see another town center for him. And, you know, Dracont will probably get to the number of plumed archers where he can pressure his opponent. But I think around that time, Vinchester will probably build a defensive castle in the front, and he'll have lots of eco behind. The ultimate goal is to get to Paladin, if you're Persians here. Mayans, it's probably going to be plumed archers and halberdiers. Why is he going for Scorpions and not a Mangonel? So it comes down to the cost of it. Scorpion's about half the price, and as you can see, it was pretty effective. The issue for Dracont is that his Scorpion ungarrisoned here. If you ungarrisoned it on the other side, then that would have never happened. So that was a bit of a misplay from Dracont. I'm sure he's kicking himself over it. Vand, I think that on Arena you can justify Paladin. Because it's going to be real tough here. You could go for Cavalier and Elite Skirm. But I think it has to be either like straight. So it's hard to justify Paladin and Elite Skirm at the same time. In an ideal world, he'd have 30 Elite Skirms and 50 Paladins. But yeah, I feel like you have to, your end game has to be Cavalier and Skirms here. New to watching AoE2, are these players about evenly matched, or is one generally considered ahead of the other? So, Dracont, who's in the blue, well, first of all, you can see the rating on the overlay, right? But Dracont he plays a bit more arena than Vinch. Overall, Vinchester's a better player. but he's more known for his open maps because he's aggressive. And wow, forward castle from Vinchester. Actually didn't expect this. Van AOC, another thing that you could consider here if you're Vinchester is to get to imp faster and go for a Trebor. Because what does Dracont want to make? He wants to make plumed archers. So there's still a hole here. If Vinchester can get a Treb or two out, then he could just go immediately into a Trebor. And that would make it a bit awkward then for Dracont. It's tough to judge. A couple people are actually asking, should Dracont have made more plumes? Well, I think that it's probably been wise not to make more plumes here.
We've been dating for 2 months, baby Kappa Pride.
See, I expected Dracont to make more plumes and then fall behind in economy. But he's actually slightly ahead in economy now. If he made more plumed archers, what could he have done with them, guys? He would have probably ran into a Maganel from Vinchester, maybe killed that. Pretty much the only thing he would have gained from that is he would have stopped this castle from going up. Which is not in the worst position anyway for Dracont. So, you don't want to invest too early in military on Arena because economy is the most important thing. But whoever hits imp faster here is going to have an edge with getting access to Trebs. Oh!
Can't believe it's been 7 months.
So
thanks for the great content.
So this was why Dracont might not have wanted to run out earlier. But he's gonna, with decent micro, kill the Maganel. I think Vinch will get one more shot. Let's see if he can attack rounds. Oh! Nice. Tried to predict where Dracont went. Funny enough, Vinchester's gone for exactly what I said. He's gone for a faster Imperial intentionally so he can get the Trebs out. But because he's so far behind in economy, he won't really have the resources to do much more, which is the concern. And Dracont will... well, he'll get there soon enough, but he's still a little bit behind. But you notice he just has the resources and flexibility to make military, to build a second castle. That's what extra economy gives you. In your opinion, what is the most unfair Civ matchup in this game? Well, Jade Arrow, it depends. If we're talking Arena, I could say Mayans versus Goths, maybe. But if it's Arabia, I'd give Mayans the edge versus Goths. I mean, it really depends. At this point in time, if we're talking open maps like Arabia, I would say that any civilization versus Vietnamese. I find Vietnamese to be quite weak. Yep, Dracont's going to click up to the Imperial Age. And he uses this TC, which I don't think he's at risk of losing, but that's not the TC I would choose. Yesterday, Viper played Brits versus Vietnamese. Yeah, he also played Huns versus Vietnamese. I saw Vinchester playing as Vietnamese. Like, the game yesterday, if Vinchester was any other civilization, he would have beat Viper. At least in my opinion. 2 Maganels for Vinchester, and both players are going for some relics. That's why Vinchester's keeping an eye on this area. And Vinchester now is in the Imperial Age, and he's making a few trebuchets. And great Maganel shots from him. He's predicting where Dracont will run. So again, I actually think the approach from Dracont to make less plumes makes sense. Because he would have just lost them to Maganels. He wouldn't have gotten into his opponent's base. So eventually, Vinchester, he is, he's going to have to add some military beyond trebuchets. I wonder if he can range this castle from here. He can. That's huge. Because if he had to run in here, then I believe that a Maganel or two could kill those trebs. Whereas in this location, Dracont can't really address the trebs. He has another castle in the back. He can actually build a third here in a second. And he's going for what seems to be capped ram. And now Vinchester's going for Cavalier. So he doesn't really have the numbers yet, but, you know, this is great. Just a strong strategy choice from Vinchester to recognize his opponent needs this gold, to recognize his opponent needs the castles, and this whole strategy has worked to perfection. And I remember I said it didn't look like it would work. It's amazing just how good Vinchester is with this strat. Hi T9 Official, yesterday I got a pair of headphones delivered to me, The mailman asked me what I was going to use them for. I said to listen to music. He told me he uses his headphones to listen to your stream. I asked him what your channel was. Now I'm watching you for 10 minutes and really enjoying it. Keep up the good work. Belgium, we need a compilation of all of your jokes like that. For those that don't know, Project Belgium's been watching my stream for well over a year. Just that every time I stream, he has something to say like that. Oh, man. Well, Imperial Age now for Dracont. His plumed archers, they have 5+3. And Vinchester's going into Onager now, which is pretty expensive. As you can see, he doesn't have a lot of Cavalier out yet. He's kind of at the limit when it comes to resources, but he must expect Cav Trams and Plumes, and Onager and Cavalier would be great. It's not like Dracont's going to go Eagle Warriors. That wouldn't make sense here. So it's got to be either Plumed Archers or Halberdiers. And Rams is normally a staple as well. So someone asked how much stone Dracont has left. He has 400 here. So he has enough for almost 2 more castles if you were to buy a little bit more. But now it gets a bit complicated. Dracont does have enough plumed archers where he could possibly micro down an Onager or 2. But it's risky business. It is very risky business. And Vinchester, with Persian TCs, you know, creating those vills faster, he's catching up. Don't kill your own Treb, Vinch. I've been saying so many good things about you. Don't do it. Calculated. Calculated. Yeah, he's at 102 vills now. He has 4 relics. He can actually get the 5th here. Now, looking at what Vinchester sees, he's got to think these trebuchets are not going to last long here. So he's probably keeping an eye on these, knowing that Dracont could be on the way. Okay. Yeah, okay, now Vinchester sees it. I think he'll pack up the Trebs. Maybe he believes in his micro. Maybe he's going to send in a lot of Cavalier. I think he should probably have packed those up. Alright. Well, the Trebs are just the distraction here. But they're going to die. And that's the power of Siege Rams right there. Still don't know if I'd be too comfortable running out here with all these Siege Rams if I'm Dracont. But he gets in close. And oh god, this could be so good for Dracont. Look at that. He kills 1 Onager, and now he's deploying his Trebs on the castle of Vinchester. But Vinchester, he has full defense upgrades in the Cavalier. He has the first attack upgrade. And remember, these are Persian Cavaliers, so they have that attack bonus. And he can go immediately for the Trebs if he just wants to stop Dracont from pushing back for now, and he will do that. He'll kill 1, he will kill 2. And he lost a few Onagers, but he'll keep his castle up and he'll hold his position. The question is, will he push in now? Or will he just hold and... Oh, he's going to push in. I was about to say that Dracont still is lacking... I believe he is lacking Thumb Ring. Yeah, he was still lacking Thumb Ring, which is a huge upgrade. He didn't even have Elite Plumed Archer. And Vinchester had so much coming behind that he probably would have won that fight. Even if he didn't win the initial fight, he would have at least been set up here, right in Dracont's base, and Dracont was starved of resources. That was awesome. Can we get the GGs in the chat for that? Like, how dumb did the Tower Rush look? How dumb did the Tower Rush strategy look? It looked pretty freaking dumb, but Vinchester makes it work. Like, I'm such a Vinchester fanboy. He's so fun to watch play. And granted, sometimes that extra aggression can look silly. Sometimes you're just like, wow, that wasn't going to work. And this time I said that and I was happy to be wrong. Kowalski says, I'm a sub, ? You might be a sub because someone gifted you a sub. I'm not sure. Anyone who's received a gifted sub on Twitch before, can you see who gifted it to you somewhere? Do you get an email about it? I think you do. I think you can probably check Kowalski if you wanted to check. Thank that person. Alright, so there's the KD. 32 kills for Vinchester. Ultimately, there wasn't a huge battle. It was just about positioning. And then Vinchester caught up in economy big time. More food, more gold. And technology stats is also interesting. Look at how early the feudal time was and how late the feudal time was for Vinch. And then he had a faster imp time. It's just funny how this plays out because it's just flip-flopping all over the place with the timings. Credit to Vinch for getting the relics. Credit to Vinch for being able to keep that castle up because that was pretty exposed for a while. That was an awesome game. So as most of you on YouTube probably realized throughout the game, I was streaming this one here on Twitch. We have a lot of people who are here right now who've come in from YouTube recently, joining the community. If you had interest in checking out the live stream, you can click the link below in the video description. My schedule for when I'll be live automatically goes to your time zone, and it's right below that stream when you get there. So I'm going to tab out to the main overlay and give people a chance to say hello, YouTube, on the right-hand side. Debo says it's in the notifications next to the Get Bits button. Ah, cool, okay. So there you go. So if someone's gifted you a sub, you can check there. But enjoy it, man. Slim Nors, welcome back to the game, man. Oh my god, they're playing again already? We're getting spoiled here.